My lovely viewers and my dear students, welcome to my math distance learning session. And in today's session we are going to start a new chapter, and this video is especially going to be useful for grade 11 and 12. In the last section we had done for grade 11 the video on introduction of differentiation, and now this is in continuation with the applications of differentiation, and the lesson that we are going to be starting today will be connecting position, velocity and acceleration. So the name of the chapter that we are beginning today is AP Calculus AB, and we are going to start with Unit 4, Contextual Applications of Differentiation, and today we are beginning with part 1. So our topic for today would be straight line motion, where we will learn how we are connecting position, velocity and acceleration. So let me tell you the learning objectives of this session today. In the session, given a formula for distance, you will learn how to calculate the velocity and acceleration, and this is going to be a must watch video for all the grade 11 and 12 students which are planning to give the AP Calculus exam. Towards the end of today's session, we are going to be covering some important questions on this topic. So what are you waiting for? Let's get started. And before we dive into the lesson, a humble request for all my viewers which have not yet subscribed to please subscribe to my channel Mathematics Made Easy, as it serves for a wonderful motivation for me to make more content and create more of such videos for all of you. Okay, so let's now understand velocity. So velocity first of all will be represented with the notation v of t. So your velocity will be a function of time, and the velocity of an object, which is st units away from the starting point, and the time is represented by t, is given by this formula. So v of t, or the velocity, is going to be the first derivative of your position vector. So if s of t is denoting your position, then v of t will denote your velocity, and as you can observe, both are going to be functions of time. And here velocity is defined as the first derivative, which is equal to s prime of t. Now by definition of the first derivative, it is going to be the limit h going to be 0, s of t plus h minus st by h, and I hope you all get recall that this term is nothing but the difference quotient. And if you are putting to this different question the limit at h going to 0, so you're taking the limit of the difference quotient, or in a way you could say that because velocity is the rate of change of the displacement or the rate of change of the distance, so that is the reason why you are taking this limit or the difference quotient. So let's see now in a simple way. We will just be using the formula that to get velocity, just take the first derivative of your displacement. So here in this case now we are going to see how we solve this question. So example 1, you are given that a particle moves along the x-axis. The function xt is the particle's position at time t equal to 0. So the position vector is represented by xt, which is equal to 5 times t square minus 12t plus 3. As you observe, this position vector is a function of time. So when we are going to differentiate with respect to t, we are going to be getting our velocity. So let's calculate v of t first, and after that, because we need this velocity at a specific time. What is the time? T equal to 3. So we are going to be doing substitution. So v of t is d by dt of x of t, or the first derivative of the position vector. So we are going to be doing d by dt of 5t square minus 12t plus 3. So I've just put in the value of the position vector. Now we are going to do the power rule, and power rule here, because you have a power, will give you 5 multiplied with 2 t to the power 1 minus 12t. 3 is a constant, so its derivative is going to be 0. So what I've got here is 10t minus 12. So this is going to be my velocity as a function of time. Now I need to do substitution, because t is given to you as 3. So let's do the substitution. And when we do that, v of 3 is going to be 10 times 3 minus 12. So I want you to do that calculation. This is going to be 30 minus 12. So your answer here, v of 3, is going to be 8. So that was one example, and the most important step that we have taken here is that velocity is the first derivative of the position vector. This is what you should take away from this slide. Okay, let us now define acceleration in terms of the derivative. So in terms of the derivative, your acceleration is defined as the first derivative of the velocity. Because if you go back to your physics, if you just go back to your topic of motion, I'm sure you are able to recall that acceleration is the rate of change of velocity with respect to time. That means we are going to take the first derivative of the velocity, or if I may just write it in the terms of the position vector, then it is going to be the double derivative of the position vector. And this is coming straight from the last concept, that velocity is the first derivative of position vector. So what you should take away from here is that in order to get your acceleration from the position vector, you differentiate it 2 times, and if you want your acceleration in terms of the given velocity, just differentiate it once. And remember, all of these 3 things, whether it is the position vector, whether it is the velocity, or whether it is the acceleration, these 3 functions are going to be functions of time. So let's see an example now. This is going to be the second example that we do today, and in this one you are given the position, the particle's position with this function. The function is xt, so it is a function of t. As you can see, the time is positive and the particle is given to be moving across the x-axis. What you need to find the particle's acceleration at time t equal to 3. So in the last question we had taken something similar and done just the first step, which was velocity. Let's do the acceleration now. Okay, so first we are going to write our xt. It is a function of time, and now we are going to first differentiate it 1 time to get velocity. So velocity is x prime of t, the first derivative. So I can write it as d by dt of this whole function. Okay, so I'm changing color now to show you that we do the power rule here and here to get 3t square minus 6 times t plus 7. So this is going to be your v of t. Now we have got the velocity, but we need acceleration. So we are going to be doing one more step here. We are going to differentiate 1 more time, and your acceleration is going to be v prime of t. So I'm directly going to differentiate this velocity, and we are doing the same thing with respect to time. So this will be 3 into 2 times t minus 6. So that's our acceleration as a function of time, and we need to now do the substitution at the point t equal to 3. So a of 3 is going to be 3 into 2 times 3 minus 6. So now you can simplify this expression. This is 3 times 3, 9, times 2, 18, minus 6. So this will come out to be 12. So your acceleration for this given function at the point t equal to 3 is going to be 12. That is going to be your answer. I hope example 2 is clear and you've seen in this slide how we calculate the acceleration. The takeaway from the slide should be this formula. In terms of acceleration, you are differentiating 2 times if the position vector is given, and if velocity is given, you just differentiate it 1 time to get your answer. Okay, so let's now do an important guided practice question. In this question, we will use both the concepts together, the velocity at the point t and the acceleration at the point t. So the particle is moving along the x-axis. The function v of t is giving the particle's velocity, and v of t is already given to you in the question. You need to find here 3 things. Number 1, the velocity at the point t equal to 6. Number 2, the acceleration at the point t equal to 6. And number 3, you need to decide, looking at these 2 values at t equal to 6, what is the behavior of the particle, whether it is speeding up, whether it is slowing down, or neither of the two. So let's solve the question. For the first part, we need the velocity at the point t equal to 6. So we are going to just simply substitute here, and wherever there is t, we are going to put the number 6. So this is going to be 6 square minus 12 times 6 plus 30. So this is going to be 36 plus 30 minus 72. So if you look at this value, this is coming out to be negative 66 minus 72, that is negative 6. So we can plug in the answer here for the first part, negative 6, which is less than 0. That means at the point t equal to 6, because the velocity is negative, definitely the particle is slowing down. That is what we can look at the first part. Now let's look at the second one, and based on these two values we will decide the answer for the third part. So to get your acceleration a at t, we are now going to use the formula that it is the first derivative of velocity. So let's differentiate d by dt of t square minus 12t plus 30. So when you solve it, this is going to be 2t minus 12, and that is what is the value of acceleration at the point t. Now the point at which we need to do all of this calculation is t equal to 6. So we will now substitute. This is 2 times 6 minus 12, which comes out to be 0. So for the second part, the acceleration is 0. Now we have to decide. So what do you know when acceleration at a point is going to be 0? So here we observe that the particle's acceleration at at t equal to 6 is 0. That means the rate of change of velocity is 0. So can we say the particle will have constant velocity? Yeah. And if the velocity is constant, it means it is neither increasing nor decreasing. Therefore, the correct answer, I will use the highlighter here now, is going to be neither of the two. So at t equal to 6, the particle is neither speeding up nor slowing down because the velocity is constant, and the acceleration at the point t equal to 6 is has come out to be 0. So that's an important question. This will surely help you for your AP calculus exam. So make sure you do more practice of similar question. Very important. More question. This is also going to be very important and useful when you are preparing for your AP calculus AB exam. So pay attention. I will read the question for you. A particle is moving along a line so that the position vector at the time t greater than 0 is given by this function. So the position function, which is a function of t, is given to you in the question, where s is measured in meters, t the time is measured in seconds. So you need to find 4 things here. Let's do them one by one. In the first part, you need to find the instantaneous velocity at the time t. So this is quite easy. You need v of t, which is the first derivative of the position. You have already seen that in the slide. So we just do d by dt of this function which is given to you. So 1 by 3 t cube minus 3t square plus 8t minus 5. So this will come out to be 1 by 3 times, so the power comes down, 3t square minus 6t plus 8. So that will be your first part for the instantaneous velocity. Now for B part, when is the particle at rest? I will change color. So if the particle is at rest, we can say the velocity of the particle is going to be 0. So that means the velocity that you have got here, you have to put that value as equal to 0 and then calculate your time from there. So let me take A part here. We are going to use the A part for the B part. So this is same as t square minus 6t plus 8. It's a quadratic equation in t, which is going to be equal to 0. That means we have to calculate the factors and do the middle term splitting to get the value of t. So I may use here minus 4t and minus 2t as the factors, because when I add them I get negative 4, negative 2 and negative 6, and when I multiply them I get negative 4 multiplied with negative 2 as 8. So these will serve as my 2 roots. We just do the factorization here, take the common terms and therefore the last step would be t minus 2 and t minus 4. So the two values, let me change color, if you put them equal to 0, have come out to be t equal to 2 and t equal to 4. So at these 2 points, the particle will be at rest when the time is 2 seconds and the time is 4 seconds. Don't forget the unit, you are given time is measured in seconds, so this will be 2 seconds and 4 seconds. That completes the first two part. Let's dive into the C part. Here you need to find acceleration at any time t. We know velocity by A part is t square minus 60 plus 8. So to get acceleration, we will just take the first derivative of velocity. So d by dt of t square minus 60 plus 8. So how much? Let's write. I'm changing color. So you're going to take the power rule here for the first term. So this is 2t and here just negative 6. So that's your acceleration as a function of time, at. Now last part is D part. Let me change color once more last time. Here we need to find displacement of the particle for the first 3 seconds. The first 3 seconds means t equal to 1, t equal to 2 and t equal to 3. You're already given the displacement of the particle or the position vector, so we will just do s of 1, s of 2 and s of 3, because at the first 3 seconds we need to find this value. So just if I mark this as 1, you have to use substitution to get in your answer. So 1 by 3 times 1 cube minus 3 times 1 square plus 8 times 1 minus 5. That would be the first one. Maybe it will be good to change color here. So s of 2 I'm denoting with red ink will be 1 by 3 2 cube minus 3 times 2 square plus 8 times 2 minus 5. So if you see here, I'm just doing substitution. Let's do for the third one. I have to change my color once more. So this is s at the point t equal to 3. So wherever there is t, I'm just going to substitute 3 here. So 1 by 3 times 3 cube minus 3 times 3 square plus 8 times 3 minus 5. Now you may just use your calculator, evaluate these 3 values, simplify, solve, and you will get the displacement of the particle for the first 3 seconds. So very, very important, all 4 parts, very useful, especially for students giving the AP Calculus AP exam. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the session. Let's recall what we've learned today. Let's summarize. So a real life example of the concept of derivatives you have seen today, where for the first derivative we have used the formula or the expression that velocity is the first derivative of the position. So if your st is describing the distance or the displacement as a function of time of a moving object, then v of t or velocity can be calculated by taking out the first derivative, and that is what is going to describe the speed of velocity of the object. And any change in the speed of the object, so if you differentiate your velocity one time, so that is your acceleration, and if you want to write your acceleration in terms of the distance or displacement function, then it will be the double derivative. So this is the summary of today's important lesson on application of derivative. So that brings us to the end of today's session. I hope you enjoyed the session and it was useful for you. And before we end, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much to all my subscribers who have already hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon. I would request other viewers also who like my video but have not subscribed yet to do the same. Until then, this is Ms. Ruchika signing off from today's video, which was on grade 11 and 12. See you in my next video. Bye viewers.